Yo, what's good? Um, I kind of just want to like chop it up. I was thinking about the fact that I've been doing music for so long and been doing it for free for so long, and how it's puzzling to people. And I never thought about it or thought about how weird it was to this point in my life where I kind of feel like I kind of question it. Like, was it all for nothing? You know? Because how can I be good? How can I be good at something and have a gift for something that doesn't provide stability in my personal life? I always thought my creativity had to come at the expense of my personal life and my personal well-being. Speaking of that, I was in the shower the other day and I thought about, what is good and what is evil, and what is good is truth, and what is evil is a lie, and what is truth. And truth is you standing for something at the expense of your own personal well-being. You standing for a cause even if it's at the expense of your personal well-being. That's truth. And I've been making music regardless of how unaffected for the better it has on my personal life, and how it doesn't benefit me personally and financially. And I still do it. I would call that my truth. And it ain't always pretty. It ain't always some jamming shit, but it's always heartfelt because it's honest. And I've been in a place, man, where I feel like, bro, like my life is pointless. And I don't have a purpose. And it's just me sometimes. I feel like I'm in a world alone. Even when I'm around people, it's kind of like I'm not there. But I can see other people, and it seems like they're present. They seem to be attached to reality. But when I try to think about the point of my life, my mind goes blank. Funny enough, this blank-mindedness helps me in zoning out my personal life to create. It's really weird. Like, I'll be in a zone and hours will go by and I haven't eaten anything, but I'm not hungry. Or, it can be late, but I'm not tired. And it's because the music is feeding my soul. It's because I don't make money off of it. I'm able to go deeper because it don't stop at the dollar. The buck don't stop there. And it's weird because there's a high level of confidence contrast with a very deep void of loneliness at the same time. Like the most recent project that I just released, Peaceful and Disassociated, I think is probably my most darkest pieces of music, and at the same time my most realized piece of music. It's more practical, is more simple and stripped all the way down. I wanted to focus more on my writing, so I didn't pay attention to making the beats and tweaking the fucking shit to death. I let go of all of that desperate need to try to make things as perfect as possible. I let all of that go, and I just wanted to focus on being more visual in my writing and not so descriptive in my writing. So being more like, I'm going to show you and not tell you. And I was able to hack into my truth more precise because I kept it simple. You'll reach a point in your life where you'll feel like it's just you. You'll reach a point in your life where you feel like you're missing something. You feel like you need someone there for you. Especially if you're a loner. Like I'm a loner, but being alone so much, and I've been alone my whole life. Man, this shit becomes hectic. Like you know, I find myself like overcompensating in like desperate ways, impulsively, because I spend so much time by myself, shutting people out, you know, until I can't take it no more. And now I'm just like overly extending myself. It's a push and pull, you know, it's just life shit. The being alone and all of that, it's just life. But that's why it's so important to find like what your thing is, and not be so quick to try to monetize it, because we live in this age where like you have access to just put it out, get a book, you know, and then next thing you know, your entire life is consumed with chasing a dollar. And you then forgot about this thing that was once pure, that was feeding your soul essentially, and not just feeding your account. There's nothing wrong with feeding your account, but like I said, I do believe every person needs to have something in their life that they work hard at for free. You need some sort of like purity in your life, because we are not pure beings in and of ourselves and in and of the world. We're so impure, so evil for the most part. So you need something pure. Some people use religion. Some people, you know, they use their connection to their family and stuff like that, to their children, parents, etc. But for me, I choose music, because music doesn't talk back. It doesn't argue. It's just there for me, you know what I'm saying? And it's always been there for me. So who am I to like take it and put it on a corner and prostitute it out just to put food in my stomach, or put food in my family's stomach, my child's stomach, when the music essentially is eternal? It's never going to go away. We'll always have sound. As long as we can hear, there will be music. So, I mean, you put that on a scale with money and it just doesn't equate. And it keeps that light. It keeps that light in your eyes. You ever look at a person and you look in their eyes and you don't see a light? It's just darkness. Person probably don't have any form of purity in their life, or they feel like they don't have it. They lost that spark. I don't overthink things as much as I once did. Again, keeping things very simple. I wouldn't call it blind optimism, or it's not blind hope, right? It's just like, it is what it is. And when things come, I take advantage of them. When they leave, I let them go on about their business, That includes people. I no longer hold on to people like that. Because again, I've reached a point where I feel like, bro, it's just me right now. Like, it's just me. And that's making me more specific about the way I associate myself. Peaceful and disassociated. So I would say it makes me disassociate myself more. Some things are inspired. Some things aren't. Some things are willed into existence. I would say this moment is willed. I'm not going to say it's inspired, even though it probably is. There's kids out here at the pool. Every time, I go outside, there's a kid who asks me for $1. And sometimes I give it to him, or sometimes be like, hey man, I ain't got it right now. I'll give it to you next time. Now every time I walk outside, I'm like, oh shit, I got to get this kid $1. Do I got $1? Probably ain't got one, so I hide from him. Because he going to ask me. Man, we forget that we kids at the end of the day. We're tall children. You know what I mean? Everybody want to hang their hat up on like, oh, I'm grown. I got everything together. I'm strong. I conquer the world. The world don't conquer me. Every now and again, you got to pop your shit. So I understand. But in reality, when you get alone by yourself and you start thinking about your life, you turn into that kid again. It's weird because I can't say music brings out my inner child. I don't know if that's true anymore, especially with the last piece of music I did. I can't say that, music makes me more in tune with my inner 5-year-old. I can't say that because I make music for adults. I make music that has layers to it. And I don't think I'm how can I say this? I'm trying to say that like I'm not creative enough to like speak to something that's heavy in a simple way. But I'm not saying that at the same time because obviously I have a creative power. I've been doing this for so long. So that's not the right way to word it, but I'm going to just leave it there for now. You know what I mean? Like there's genius in being able to simplify something deep. I used to have a phrase where I say like, I want to speak to deeper things in a simple way, as opposed to speaking to simple things in a deep way. Wait, it didn't go like that. It didn't go like that. I don't remember exactly how it went, but I bodied it. Basically, I want to make things more simple, but underneath that simplicity, there's like a larger meaning. Yeah, I don't think I have that in me. I'm too impulsive how I create. It's random when it hits me. Like, it can come in the form of a photo. Oh, I hit the mic. It can come in the form of a photo. It can come in the form of zoning out. Like, I don't think I'm ever focused. And I don't know how to think. I just know how to respond. Anytime I try to think about something, it fails. But when I respond to something that happens, it succeeds. I'm always zoned out. I see people, I hear people, but it's like I hear them through glass. I hear them through a glass barrier. Where it's almost like I'm on another, I'm on like a separate island. Yeah, I get really absent-minded, and it's hard for me to relate to people, because to me they look like, you ever look at people and it seem like they seem to be more stable than you, or they seem to be more happier than you? That's kind of what it's like for me, to where it's like I'm looking at people in their most glorious state. I'm seeing people for who they're not. That's pretty fucking arrogant of me to think that people for me to just automatically assume people aren't being themselves. That's bullshit. That's arrogant too. But I'm arrogant sometimes. But I'm constantly zoning out. Other people seem so focused, you know? Other people seem to have figured out a code of how to just concentrate. My concentration is so slippery. I have a watery mind. So by default, my relationship to time is ambiguous. You know, when you zone out, 10 seconds can feel like an hour, because you just lose track of time. You lose track of where you are. And I am constantly lost in time. But I will say I've gotten better at realizing that, you know. I'm more graceful in how I accept and receive people, knowing in the back of my head that I'm always going to be on a separate island because I'm absent-minded. I've gotten better at just going with that flow, because I am a go with the flow kind of person, but at the same time, I'm sensitive to the flow. So going with the flow and being sensitive to that flow, it can sometimes be two different ways of being almost. But everybody's two different ways within the same being, right? So this is just me, I guess, articulating or trying to articulate who I am as a being and how my container functions. sometimes I have so much to say, but I don't know how to say it. Or I can have so much shit going on in my head, like, but when I go and try to like talk about it, it just like turns into mush and muck. So any of my old videos or anything that I've ever like put out on my YouTube channel, it's so far from the original thought or the original feeling and idea that I just have to I have to wait after I do it. I have to wait a chunk of time and then go back to it after I live some life. And when I go back to it, I listen to it and I go, oh shit. So that chunk of time I spent away from it, all that life that was happening, that's what I was talking about when I originally expressed that jumble fucking variation of the original thing that I felt. So I guess that's why it's jumbled. Or I guess that's why like sometimes it seemed like there is no direction when I communicate. Because first of all, I'm moving off of impulse. I'm not moving off of plan. So when that crash of thought or idea comes at me, I have to jump up and just do it. I can't wait. I can't plan. I can't think about it too much because I'll ruin it if I think about it. When I think about things, I ruin them. I'm way better at responding. Waiting to respond. I'm constantly waiting in life to respond to life. I'm not necessarily acting upon life. Shit, man, I want to make a film so bad. I want to write a book too, but I don't think I have the discipline to do either one of these things. I think music is probably the only thing, or make observations, but I don't give that much credence because anybody can make observations. You have eyes. So I'll just say music is probably the only thing that like I have some discipline in. Like I want to make a film. I want to make this like suspense film. I think in my music, I'm like, if you listen to my music, it does sound like I'm telling a story. You may not understand the point of the story. You may not be able to follow along with it. Maybe you do. But if you listen, it sounds like a novel. It sounds like a script. It sounds like a character. Everyone has a character that they present to people. And even when you talking about your life, you're not even talking about like you. There was a female once told me that like no individual has their own purpose. That basically we all share our purpose with each other. And at first I didn't listen. Like I was just like stuck in my arrogant shit where it's like, what? Nah. Ain't nobody responsible for my purpose. My purpose is my own, but that's bullshit. Like everywhere you go, there's people. Like you can't escape other people. You need other people. We need each other. Like I think that's what makes jail so fucking horrible, is because it disconnects you from your humanity. It disconnects you from other people, and you're treated like an animal, and you're in there with other people who are treated like animals. So it then becomes this like dystopian existence. So how much of your purpose is your own, for real? Maybe that's why I say I think everybody needs to reach a point in their life where they realize their individual life don't matter, for real. Because in that moment, you realize how important other people are to who you are, to your story. So your own like isolated island of a life don't really matter, because we rely on each other to exist. Without the person who built these apartments, I wouldn't have a place to stay. Without the person who made my car, I wouldn't have transportation. Without, the job that we all have to work, we wouldn't be able to make money. Without the people who work at the food restaurants, we wouldn't be able to feed ourselves. We wouldn't be able to feed our family. So again, like, how important are you as just one individual in comparison to our existence here as a like species? Not that important. So yeah, my life don't really matter, bro. That's why I like making music. I love it and I'm great at it, and I do it for free. And I've done it for free over a decade. And as a result, I'm free. Look at that. Because I make music for free. Who I am as an artist is free. So really, I'm not being cheated because I do it for free. I'm really just freeing myself up from being a slave to the money that I would be paid for it. A different way to look at it. Underneath the skin, guiding me until it's time to lead alone, passing through the wind. I cannot see your face and still live. We can't imagine who you are, my God, 'cause you are other. You are. Teach me how to be like you. Teach me how to be like you. The world looks so big. I bet these small ass apartments look so fucking massive to these kids. Because when I was young, the house I grew up in, I went back to that shit a few years back as an adult, and that shit was tiny. The whole neighborhood was just that big. But when I was young, that shit was like, that was the world.